What's up guys? So today we're back with a brand new mechanic. And as I promised you guys, I want to introduce you to the Throwable Trigger Trap. Okay, so how this mechanic exactly works is really easy, and it's something I used and invented in my Prison Break map. As you guys know, when you throw a Zapper trap, it applies the trap to both sides of the wall. And this is the key to this mechanic. That being said, let's set up an item spawner and drop a Zapper trap in it first. I'll change the first spawn to instant because I don't want to wait when testing. And also, for that same reason, let me just set up a spawn pad next to it real fast. Okay, now how we'll actually make this trigger is by creating a separate room, and in that room we're going to add a sentry. Configure the sentry, and there's some small things we have to set up first. To start off, set its health to 1, this is very important. And for this first part, leave the respawn to never. Then scroll all the way down and there you'll see the secret of our mechanic. The when eliminated transmit on, and set this to channel 1. Lastly, we just have to bind that trigger to anything we want. So for demo purpose, I'll bind it to a barrier, but you can play around with this. Bind it to a different item spawner or a spawn pad or whatever you want. So let me set up this barrier real fast so that we can see the result. I'll change the visibility to the red force field so that it's real clear. And I'll bind the disable when receiving from to this channel 1, which is going to trigger when we kill that sentry. Alright, testing time. So we spawn, barrier is there, and everything is locked. Sentry is inside, as we can see. Now let's pick up our Zapper trap and throw it on the wall. Et voila! Trap attaches on both sides, kills the sentry inside, that triggers the channel and disables the barrier. It's that easy. Now, before we go on, there's two small things I'd like to show you guys as like a cleanup kind of task. Let's go back to editing mode, and the first thing that I'd like to do is not have the sentry spawn until we actually pick up the trap. The reason I want to do this is, for example, in my Prison Break map, you don't obtain the Zapper until later in the story, in the quest, but every time you run past that room, you'll hear the sentry shooting. So to avoid this issue, go to your item spawner and scroll all the way down. Now bind when item picked up, transmit to channel 2. Then go to your sentry and change the spawn on minigame start to no, and spawn when receiving from to this channel 2. So he'll only spawn once we have picked up the Zapper trap and not make a lot of noise every time we run past that wall before we actually get the trap to make the trigger and start this whole mechanic. Second cleanup task that I'd like to do is just mark the spot. Either do it with a billboard and text or just spray paint this wall so that it's really clear where you have to throw the trap. Now lastly, there's one more bug that we need to fix. In the case of my Prison Break map, where the sentry is not on the same level as me, so it's not on the ground, I could actually throw the trap on the bottom of that 1x1. And what this does is it overrides the sentry because it kind of functions like a trap. And it just removes it, so it destroys our entire mechanism. So that's a real bug we need to fix. But luckily, there's a real easy fix for this. Just open your devices tab and throw down an objective device gallery. Grab one of these blue transparent blocks. You can use anything, but I like to use this one because it's at least square sized. And resize the height to as small as possible. And if needed, resize the width and the depth to be about the size of the floor. Then customize it and change its health to invulnerable, and change the visibility during game to off. So in editing mode you'll still see this blue block, but once you start the game it's going to be invisible, and therefore block the trap from being thrown there. So as you can see, if we start the game, you can't see anything, and if you try to throw the trap on the bottom, it just marks it as red, it closes off. And that's all guys. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys soon. Don't forget to check out all my maps on Fortnite Maps. I also entered the competition with my towers for your loot. So please go on Fortnite Maps, rate it 10 out of 10. I really want to win that contest, because if I win, all the V-Bucks are going back to you guys. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys soon.